Welcome to Crosscut, a movie review / trivia challenge show. I'm your co-host, Josh.
And I'm your other co-host, Chris.
So, today we are taking a look at Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, an action-adventure sci-fi about a new faction of Transformers, the Maximals, who join the Autobots as allies in the battle for Earth. Always a battle for Earth. Before we begin, we want to issue a spoiler warning, because this episode will contain potential spoilers, especially that ending. So if you have not seen Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, we highly recommend pausing this episode, getting yourself a big old popcorn and a tasty beverage. For everyone else, let's begin.
Yeah. So it was this week for me, and I picked Transformers: Rise of the Beasts because why not? It's been a while since we've seen a Transformers movie in theaters, and
Well, the last one I saw was with you, Bumblebee.
right, Bumblebee.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was visiting you, so yeah, we went and saw Bumblebee, which was good. I like Bumblebee.
I really did too, and I like how they made a little nod in the movie towards the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
And I really liked it because it was all that action. Of course, you can never get enough of it, and I like that also because it's in a way, a fresh start. You know, it. I know it's more like a reboot almost because they want to redo everything. Like Shia LaBeouf, like didn't exist anymore. you know,
Well,
and
if
I
I can
know
say something,
also
if I can say something
what.
real quick, I didn't think this was going to be set in in the past. I thought this was going to be present day. I never got the indication in the trailer that it was set in the 90s, which I didn't mind. I
Right,
thought that was cool. So I thought this was almost like a spiritual sequel to Bumblebee in a way.
right. I didn't expect it to be in the 90s either. I thought it was gonna be like just way later, like after the last movie,
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I did enjoy it because it's almost like it's a standalone thing. And my favorite character is still gonna be Bumblebee, but Mirage is a close second there.
Mirage was
Because
a lot of fun. Mirage was fun. That's what I think makes these Transformers movies entertaining, is the comedic humor to these
yeah,
Transformers characters.
yeah,
And I didn't even realize it was Pete Davidson until the end. So I kept
yeah,
trying to
sure.
figure it out. I was like, man, who's the voice of
I
Mirage?
couldn't
And
figure out
at the
any
end, yeah,
voices except
and
for
it makes
Optimus
sense.
Prime.
Makes sense it was Pete Davidson because it was set in like New York City, and he's a New York
Mhm.
City guy. So, and he was funny. Mirage was a good character. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing more of him down the road.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, he does come back at the end.
He
You
does come
know,
back,
like
and I mean they're
just
definitely
like the
setting
spoiler
setting.
warning, he died.
They're,
He technically dies, but
right. I mean,
Noah
so
gets
does
him back.
Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's not going to be dead forever.
Right,
So
he can't die. I mean,
that's kind of one of
I
those
mean,
things where you're watching and you're like, all right, it's sad that he died, but you're like, he's obviously going to come back.
right, because I mean, he has to go for the first movie.
Yeah, and I will
But
say my favorite scene in the movie was Bumblebee's comeback when he
yeah,
comes
now
back and he
that
jumps
was
into
a
the
good
fight.
entrance.
That was
That was
fun.
a
That
good
was cool.
entrance.
That was cool. So I like that.
And I even like the Maximus Transformers too because they felt like they were the old, majestic, powerful Transformers.
Hmm.
And Optimus Primal was, I really liked his character, but also the Eagle one. I can't remember her name. But, I liked her leadership skills and everything like that. She was very like calming, very like uh she can be the medium for the Autobots and the Maximals, you know.
Her name was
Uh,
Arizor, which she was
Erazor. Okay.
voiced by Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh, who's just like in everything nowadays,
Okay. Okay.
popping up
Okay.
everywhere.
Now I hear her voice connecting to the face. Yes, now I hear it.
That was that way for me with a bunch of like I didn't know Ron Perlman was Optimus Primal, but now I'm like, okay, now I hear that.
Right?
So Peter
Every
Dinklage
time
as Scourge.
every time there's voices, I can never picture the actor at all. I can't recognize the voice at all. The only one I recognized was Optimus Prime. That was it,
Right.
you know. I do like the chemistry between Noah and Mirage. That was awesome. especially when he's running from the police and he does his
Oh, he does the multiple mirages.
right, but he's like, yeah, what's like,
Flips him off. Yeah, that was funny. I was laughing at that scene.
that was
That
funny.
was good.
And I like Elena too, like her little quirkiness, little geekiness of like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. I like
that's
Anthony
early.
Ramos. He's a good actor. I definitely want to see him in more stuff. I mean, I saw him in The Heights. I know he was in Hamilton. So
Mhm.
he definitely uh
Just moving up.
was a good lead. As far as the story goes, this kind of is a bit of a generic story to me. I don't really think this
Yes.
is, even for Transformers, this is like real generic. The whole point of the movie is like they got to find these keys, and I'm like, all right, it's
And you
that
know
seems
what's
more
funny?
like Saturday cartoon kind of story than like a feature
Right.
film. But
It
I was
felt
like,
like one of the
whatever.
it felt like one of the episodes of Transformers from the cartoon. Like there's
Hmm.
something new, you know. But I also noticed that in all the different movies, there's always an object that they need to find. First is the Allspark, next is the Matrix, now it's the time warp key thing.
Hmm.
You know, it's always something, you know,
Yeah.
and of course it always gets destroyed,
Right.
you
Right. And
know.
it's always about saving Earth. But yeah, how
Yep,
many
it's
times
always
can you
about
save
saving
Earth?
Earth or something
Yeah.
to do with Cybertron,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
When I heard
Although I guess it makes sense because I guess in Bumblebee that's when they came down, and then they were still stuck here ever since.
right in
So
the 80s.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense,
And then,
yeah.
but even as far as the story goes, like even the stuff with the brother, I'm just like, all right, that's it's his motivation, but it's really not the strongest.
Right. Like
You
I
could.
thought it was gonna be a little bit more like even
I
if
would
they
have.
had the little brother in some of the action scenes or something, like so they destroyed their home or something like that.
Well, during
Like,
that scene when he wants to go with him, I mean, it makes sense, obviously, like the kid can't go
mhm,
with you, but maybe they
right,
could have found a reason, like, I don't know, maybe the mom somehow gets killed accidentally. He's like, the brother has to come with me. I can't leave him alone.
right,
Just more
right.
stakes, just more emotional stuff. They could have went there, but it didn't really. It was just a little flat with as far as the story goes. But I get again, it's
Yeah.
Transformers, so
It you
what are
go
you
there for the
expecting?
action and the characters
And as
mostly, you
far as
know.
the action goes, I've never been a huge. I mean, obviously they're huge action movies, but I've always seen Transformers movies as a huge CGI glob of just mess as far as action. Now, the first Transformers I still really like. I think that's still the best movie. I
Well,
still
that one
think
still
that's
has a lot of practical effects,
right.
you
And
know,
it is Michael Bay, so there'll be, explosions. But
of
I
course.
mean, I just feel like they started to get more sillier and sillier. Now, I never saw 4 and 5. I never saw the Marky Mark ones, which
I
also
saw,
he had a great little nod in this movie, little meta.
oh yeah.
But
Yeah, did you see Marky Mark's is leaving? I think he's going for acting now.
yeah, that was funny. I mean, I always see these movies as a bit of a CGI mess as far as the action. However, I did like the fight scenes in this movie, so I will say that.
Fight scenes, actually, I feel like they were good, but I the other movies had a little bit more,
Again,
you
maybe
know.
those early Michael Bay movies were still better, but again, I just think it's all. I mean, when it comes to just CGI fighting monsters, I'm just not a huge fan. Just because I get it, just I'm not into it. It's just
Mm,
not real. But
okay.
if it's fun, and Transformers movies can get that way. Like I thought, there are scenes in this movie that are just fun, like when Bumblebee jumps in and he starts fighting. Like, okay, cool. I get
Yes.
into it that way. But for the most part, I'm just watching like I don't know, video games,
Yeah.
characters fight.
Well, another the big fight at the end in Peru,
Hmm.
uh, when the Maximals actually transform, like, okay, now they look cool because they're still in their animal form kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I thought they were gonna stay that way forever for the entire
Okay.
movie. So
Yeah.
when they actually transformed, it was like, okay, that actually looks cool. They still have the little animalistic features, but they're still like their transformer version, and
Right.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. Like I said, I love the actions of the Transformer movies. I
And
do say that the first ones have more action and probably more story to it, but I don't know. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Just been very entertaining, and I laughed at all the jokes.
we got to see a human transformer in a sense. Noah gets to get put in the suit and gets to join the
Right,
battle, which I don't.
right.
Again, I've never seen 4 and 5, but I feel like that's the first time we got to see something like that.
Yeah, yeah, his little mecha suit.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that would have been a cool little moment if the brother did come, that he could have, joined the fight.
mhm. He could have had like his own little mecha suit.
Right, and they could have like fought together. That would have been like a fun little moment between the brothers. But
Right, right,
again, I get it. He can't go, but again, if they changed it to where he had no option but to bring him with him, then that would have been a little different.
right. And it would have been interesting though, because it would be like the little brother could actually save him in a way.
Yeah, right, because it's all
But
about the older brother trying to save younger brother. Now they could have flipped it, but just there's
right,
little missed opportunities like that. But ultimately, I still enjoyed it for
yeah,
a
for
Transformers
what it
movies,
is.
which yeah, I would probably rank this maybe in the mid of the, what is it now, the sixth movie of Transformers,
I think
because there
so,
was
yeah.
the original three Michael Bay, then the two Marky
Right.
Marks. No, seven actually. Wow, seven, because Bumblebee would have
But
been
Bumblebee.
six. So I'd put this around like 3 or 4 out of the seven. But well, that's hard for me
Alright.
to rank them since I haven't seen two of them. But I'm pretty sure the two that I haven't seen are like bottom of the barrel.
I saw the first one with Mark Wahlberg, and
I
that
remember
was
you. I remember you going to see that because I was with you at the time, and you asked me, and I'm like, "Nah,
yeah.
I'm good. I'm good." I saw that runtime, and I'm like, "No." Also, this movie runtime is a little over 2 hours. Perfect. That's the perfect length for a
It
Transformers
is.
movie.
It's a good length.
We don't need
Like I said,
we don't need a 3 hour Transformers movie.
no, that's a little bit too much. Like I
Yeah.
saw the first Mark Wahlberg, and it was entertaining. I didn't expect much about it, and that's pretty much what happened. I didn't see a second one, but like I said, they're all entertaining to me because of the action. You
Well,
know,
yeah, that's why you go see them.
exactly.
Well,
That's
you go
what
see them for the
Transformers is to me.
entertainment and the humor. It's always been, the humor's always been a big thing with these movies. Like,
Yeah,
those first three movies, they're funny. Even if they start to get stupid, they still make you laugh in that kind of dumb
yeah,
sort of way. The first
yeah.
movie is a little bit more clever with it, like Anthony Anderson and the donuts and stuff like that. But he doesn't come back at all, so they start to get a little bit more goofier with like,
Yeah,
the second
they
one
did.
with like the dad takes like the drugs and he's like tripping a collar or whatever. So the humor starts to get kind of sillier.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
but
what did you
yeah.
think about that end credit when
Oh
they
yeah, we got to
showed?
talk about that. So that scene happens, and so he's sitting in the boardroom, and I'm like, all right, he's going for another job. This could be just a nice little moment where he finally gets a job, but I'm like, no, there's something more to this. And then
Right,
and
I
then it
didn't
turns around, the
expect that.
character, and it's Michael Kelly. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the actor, but I've seen him in
Yeah,
a
I've seen
ton
him
of
in
things,
several different things,
and I'm like,
but
oh, he's definitely going to be something. And I'm
you
thinking
know
about
what
it,
I
I'm like,
actually thought? You know what I actually thought it was gonna be when he started talking like, "Yeah, you're in Peru, right?" I was like, "Wait, what?" But then I thought, "Oh, wait a minute. Is this?" First in my head, I was thinking, "Is this Sector 7?"
hmm.
That's
Well,
the first thought.
you were thinking a specific Transformers thing, right? That's what you were
Right,
thinking. And that was
right,
I was in the same boat. I'm like, all right, what Transformers thing are they going to introduce that's going to set this thing up? And then he looks at the card because I'm like, he's got to look at that card. I'm like, that there's got to be something there. And then it's fucking
right.
GI Joe. And I'm like, what?
G.I. Joe. I did not expect G.I. Joe at all. I'm just like,
I
okay,
was
Sector 7, Sector 7. Even
uh-huh.
when he goes through the door, it looks like Sector 7. But
Right,
no,
right.
G.I. Joe. I'm like, huh.
And I was
Well,
like,
they do
all
have those
right.
crossovers in the comics.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's go, GI Joe. I was also thinking about. I was talking to some of my buddies after. I'm like, this would be a great way to reboot the GI Joe franchise because
I think that's
they,
exactly what they're gonna do.
well, they did Snake Eyes a couple years ago, and that kind of bombed. So I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna pick up with that. And then of course there's the original two with like Channing Tatum,
Right.
which also didn't get the greatest, you know,
No,
reputation. So I don't think they'll pick up from there. So I think this is sort of them going to do a soft reboot. And how cool would it to just introduce it right into the Transformers franchise?
I think that would be a good one. Rebooting G.I. Joe and with this kind of Transformers reboot also, it would be a good class, not clash, but it would be a good crossover
See
to
Cobra
do.
Commander and uh what's his name,
Yeah.
Megatron, working together with
Oh,
Snake
oh,
Eyes and Optimus Prime fighting with each other, or not with each, but like fighting,
right,
on
right,
the same
right, right.
side.
So,
So that'd
that
be
would
kind of
look
cool.
cool,
Yeah.
you know?
So
If they actually stick G.I. Joe with like the more of the comics or the cartoon, that would look awesome.
yeah. So let's see where they go with that. But yeah, that was definitely a fun little moment at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Shall we take a look at IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes?
All right. I predict for the IMDb, I want to say 6.4.
Pretty close. 6.6 at the moment.
Okay. All right. All right. 6.6.
6.6, 42
Not bad.
Metascore, which isn't great. It's kind of on pace with the original like sequels. A
Yeah.
little better than the Marky Mark ones, but pretty much the same as the Michael Bay sequels. And then Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes, not much better. It's got at the moment, it has a 53% tomato meter and then a 90% audience score. So I think audience members are having more fun with it, and the critics are just kind of like, yeah, it's Transformers. It's not
Pretty much.
It's
Yeah.
not
If the
art.
fans
It's
went to see
entertainment.
the action, that's why you get that audience score.
Right, right. So it is what it is. Pop quiz Hotshot. Two guys watch a movie. Who remembers the most about it? Well, let's find out. This is how it works. Chris and I will go back and forth asking the multiple choice questions that we each came up with. Whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Hopefully me.
We'll see. For our audience members, feel free to play along. Who knows? You might do better than us. Comment and let us know how you did, or you can email us at crosscutpodcast@gmail.com. Now that we've established the rules, let's play. And since Chris technically picked this week's movie, he'll ask the first question.
All right. First question will start off easy. What was knowing Chris's nicknames? Was it A, Dry Bones and Bowser? B, Link and Zelda? C, Sonic and Tails? D, Mario and Luigi?
C, Sonic and Tails.
Correct.
I actually didn't know the Tails one. I just knew Sonic, but I was like, well,
He even calls his brother Tails on the walkie.
no. I heard Sonic, but sure. All right. First question for Chris. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, the movie is set in 1994, correct?
Correct.
What month does it take place in? Is it A, May, B, June, C, July, or D, August?
July?
Incorrect. The answer is B, June. There's a couple of giveaways. The first one is when Noah's in the kitchen, you see a calendar in the background that says June 1994.
Wow.
Also, at one point, you see the OJ on TV, which just happened with the White Bronco, which also was June of 1994.
Wow.
I'm going a little trickier to this week, Chris. I'm not giving you
really
any easy
did.
ones right off the bat.
Okay.
So yes, it was June of 1994.
All right. That was a good one. 5 minutes. All right. What was the name of the fake front at Noah's interview? Was it A, Site Constructions, B, Sizzler Imports, C, Sector 7, D, Sinorama Security?
Is B.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Correct. I remember seeing that, and for some reason I kept thinking, I thought the name was Spiza, because I was thinking like pizza, but
Right.
yeah, Sleets, like Slizza or something like that, right?
Sizzler, like Sizzla.
Okay, yeah, I remember it was something like that. Okay.
Right.
Question 2. What type of candy was Reek eating throughout the movie? Was it A, Skittles, B, Red Vines, C, Twizzlers, or D, Sour Punch Twists?
It was Twizzlers.
Twizzlers is correct.
Damn it, that was my question too.
That's kind of an easier one, though.
Yeah.
All right. After 2 rounds, Josh is currently winning 3-2.
For now. All right. Where was the eagle statue supposedly found by? Was it A, Egyptians, B, Pakistani, C, British, D, Nubians?
I don't know. So I'm going to guess on this one. I'll say A, Egyptians.
Wrong. It was the Nubians.
That was going to be my second guess. All right. Good question. Okay. Round 3 question for Chris.
Okay.
What neighborhood of Brooklyn does Noah say he is from? Was it A, Bushwick, B, Coney Island, C, Flatbush, or D, Bed-Stuy?
Bushwick.
Bushwick is correct.
Correctamundo.
Brooklyn.
Guessed.
Oh, the Flatbush threw me off. Yeah, this is more of an easy one. How was Scourge able to talk with Unicron? Was it A, by dark energy, B, by his spark, C, by hologram, or D, the deep space communication?
Is it dark energy?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Correctamundo.
You guessed.
I was leaning that way, but I was like, wait, because I remember he kind of like does a hologram sort of thing at some point where he's like, he's not actually there. So he could have kind of been a hologram. All right. Question number 4 for Chris.
Okay.
What island was the museum located on? Was it A, Ellis Island, B, Roosevelt Island, C, Staten Island, or D, Governor's Island?
Staten Island.
Incorrect.
I'm sorry.
Correct
Oh,
answer
Ellis
was
Wrong answer.
Ellis Island.
I get them confused. Damn it. Okay. All right.
All right. So we're coming into the final round, and I'm currently winning 6-5, which means if I get this right, I win.
Okay. I gotta get really hard on you. All right.
So do your dirtiest.
Ooh. I could. All right. What was the number on the cable box he gives to his friend? Was it A, 360, B, 450, C, 700, D, 5,000?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say 450.
I'm
Nope.
sorry.
It was
That's
700.
the wrong answer.
All right. All right. So that means if Chris gets this right, he wins. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Which of these artists does not have a song featured in the movie? Was it A, Notorious B.I.G., B, Wu-Tang Clan, C, LL Cool J, or D, Tupac?
LL Cool J?
Wrong.
I'm sorry. That's the wrong
LL Cool
answer.
J is Bumblebee's entrance song into the fight. Don't call it a comeback. Ooh, comeback. Josh wins.
Ah, okay.
It's
Okay.
tricky because you do see Tupac in the movie, but he doesn't have a song. You see him on the TV when he's fixing it in the beginning.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay. That was a
Notorious
tricky
B.I.G.
one.
Yeah, it was. I got to give credit to my one buddy who said, "Oh, do this question." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So I was gonna say, "Ooh, I'll save that for the end if I really need it," and I did.
All
So
right.
that means
All right.
Josh wins this week's game of Pop Quiz Hotshot, our lowest scoring game I think ever, 6-5. We had some good questions, some trickier ones.
Congratulations.
All right.
Josh.
Yay! I win again. It's been a couple weeks.
Okay.
If you want to support the show, you can do by hitting the like button for this episode, or you can subscribe to the channel, stay up to date for future episodes.
Thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Cut print, moving on.
Robots in disguise.